I'm enjoying this trip down memory lane with the class components and the set state that we had from class components. And one thing that you may or may not have been aware of with set state is that you actually can provide a function which accepts the current state and returns the value. So you kind of get a little taste of your own reducer function when you called set state, because you can get that current state and return the new value that you want. So let's go ahead and make that API work, since we're going through all the trouble of making set state work with our own implementation using useReducer. So now the API is still an object. We're still plucking that count value off of the state, but now our increment function is going to call set state with a function rather than an object. So we get our current state, and then this function is responsible for returning the current value of that state that we want. So we could actually do this pretty easily by saying action and just call it with the state. And ta-da, that'll work. But what if we want to support both? All right, that might be a little bit more tricky. So what I'm going to do is back us up, and let's format this in a way that'll make it a little bit easier to do what we're going to do here. And now, instead of just spreading the action, we need to determine whether this action is a function, and if it is, we'll call it, or if it's an object, and if it is, we'll just go ahead and spread it. But in either case, what we're going to get back is an object that we can spread, just like we're doing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an expression here that will say type of action is a function. If it is a function, then we'll call the action with the state, and we'll spread that value. Otherwise, we are just going to assume it's an object, so we'll say action, and we'll spread that value. So together, now we support both APIs. We support the function API, and we also support good old object API that we supported earlier. Ta-da! Nice. There are a few benefits to this type of an API, which is why the this.setState supported that. And we can learn more about that later, but all that we needed to change here to support both the function and the action object is we checked the type of the action, and if it's a function, then we called that action with the current state. Otherwise, we just assumed the action was the object that we wanted to spread, and we spread that value in either case.